be the Freitas, and I'm a proud member of the Computer Science Department. I'd like to acknowledge a number of important people in the audience. Tonight we have the Honorable Minister Hughes of the Ministry of Public Telecommunications. We have Vice-Chancellor of the University of Guyana, Professor Ivelaw Griffith, the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Professor Mohammed, a number of esteemed panelists and special invitees. Welcome. At this point, I'd like to invite our Vice-Chancellor of the University of Guyana to give the opening remarks.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
That's a response befitting a Turkeyen Tain talks. Before we get formally started with the Vice Chancellor's 2.2 minutes of remarks, 2.2 Guyanese minutes is like 5 regular minutes. I want to ask the people in the back row, love to see by a show of hands how many of you would like to leave here with a $1,000 bill. It's only for people in the back row who may want to walk away with some money that they don't have right now. And I'll tell you how you can get that $1,000 bill. If you can come quickly to the front row, the Minister of Public Telecommunications will go into that pocketbook that she has there and pull out a $1,000 bill to give to each of you first word about it. So that's now in anticipation of all those monies going to be given away. Give a round of applause to people in the back. We don't want to get started until they move and come to the front. So we'll put no pressure on them. Come to the front. Come to the front. Come to the front. Going 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you're in the back row, come to the front. I always find it curious that people want to stay at the back when they're on reserve seats in the front. I'm waiting for colleagues on this side to come to the front. Let's give another round of applause to all the people who are going to be earning $1,000. Now, what I didn't say is that the minister may have some IOUs to give you. So if she gives you an IOU, please take it. It's worth the promise of the $1,000 that will be given to you at the appropriate time. Colleagues, we are here for the 17th episode of a program we started in 2006, semester 1, where we elect to have a conversation with our publics in the room and in the virtual space on a matter of critical importance either to our nation or the world. And the matter for the discourse this evening is, you would imagine, agree with me, it fits the characterization of things critical both for the nation and for the world. That is the matter of information and communications technology in the 21st century, the impact, the implications for Guyana. I want to share with you two powerful yet simple sentences from one of the foremost minds of the 20th century, a gentleman called Albert Einstein. And what Albert Einstein said that I'd like to share with you is the following. He said, "I fear the day when technology will surpass our human interaction, when the world will have a generation of idiots. Let me repeat. I fear the day when technology will surpass our human interaction, when the world will have a generation of idiots. I want to recommend that we are intent in our university, we are intent in our nation not to be part of any generation of idiots. The question then becomes, how might we achieve that end of not being, with the advent of technology, not allowing the human interaction to enable us to be idiots? And it seems to me that there are three core ingredients to enabling us not to be in that space. Critical in that respect is the importance of our understanding the technology and making appropriate use of it. But I think critical also is the importance of having appropriate engagement with some of the fundamentals, the things that undergird the technology. I'm talking specifically now to the science and to the math. And I want to take the opportunity of introducing, and I doesn't know I'm going to introduce him, a gentleman who is here in Guyana to enable us at the University of Guyana and this nation writ large to do much better than we have been doing with regard to the math and the sciences. His name is Professor Emeritus of Chemical Engineering and President of the Caribbean Academy of Sciences, Professor Winston Mellows. Winston is taking a nap. Touch Winston. Wake up Professor Mellows. I want you to stand, Winston, so we can recognize you. And then you can go back to the seat. And I want to use the opportunity to invite everyone here and your partners in the educational pursuit to come to the University of Guyana tomorrow at 4 o'clock, where we're making an effort to rejuvenate the Guyana chapter of the Caribbean Academy of Sciences. Unless we can do more to strengthen the sciences and the humanity, the arts, the mathematics, we are likely not to be able to use the technology in an informed and creative way. And so that, for me, is a critical desideratum in enabling us not to become part of a generation of idiots. But let me recommend what would be the third important ingredient in our not becoming this hopefully not accurate prediction of Albert Einstein, allowing our technology to surpass our human interaction. In my view, the third important ingredient is precisely the human interaction. Not to allow the technology to be a substitute for talking with each other. Not allow the technology to be a substitute for the soft skills that we would need to facilitate the human interaction. Not to allow a further slide in what is a critical deficit in our nation, writing and reading. We at the university now are investing some new energy in enabling writing to take a place of prominence, to enable the human interaction to be what it ought to be. And so I want to encourage us all, whether we're here in this room or whether we're joining in our virtual community, to take not only seriously what we will have learned here from the discourse, but to make a pledge that we will take forward from this place the pursuit of strengthening our sciences and our maths, the pursuit of understanding well and using appropriately the technology, and doing all that we can do to further allow the soft skills, the writing, the human interaction to be what it should be, and not allow the technology to be a substitute or an excuse for the kinds of social interaction that needs to be. But ladies and gentlemen, we know that we have many people to thank for this 17th episode of Turkeyen Tain Talks. And you will hear later on in the vote of thanks a list of the individuals and organizations that are contributing to this episode. But allow me, as I wind down in my 2.2 Guyanese minutes, to express my own appreciation for the individual and the team that has from day one spearheaded these Turkeyen Tain talks. She doesn't like to be spotlighted, but I want to invite Professor Mohammed to stand so we can appropriately recognize Professor Mohammed and the base team that makes these programs what they are. Part of the intent of the Turkeyen Tain talks and part of the intent of all our series is to build partnerships, to bring under a big tent civic, international, government, private sector organizations. And I want to therefore thank all the sponsors, the contributors, whether here or elsewhere, who've contributed in one way or the other to the success of this conversation about things that we want to view critical to our nation and to our world. And significant to that contribution group are the panelists. Please let's give a thunderous round of applause. And so let me end, ladies and gentlemen, where I began, by offering the cautionary note from Albert Einstein. I fear today that when technology will surpass our human interaction, when the world will have a generation of idiots, we want to be foremost in our intent not to become part of that generation of idiots. Welcome.
Thank you, BC. Next, I'd like to invite our Honorable Minister, Catherine Hughes, to give some remarks.
So, first of all, I wanted to find the $2,000 because I saw two individuals come to the front. And you know, I don't like to describe myself as a politician at all. Who would want to be a politician? Because every part of the world, the scum of the earth is a politician, right? So I don't really want to consider myself a politician. But I want to pay the money because I know they're going to say she won't follow what she's supposed to be doing. So for transparency, and at the end of today's session, I will give the $2,000 to the two individuals that came to the front. And then I'm a little perturbed because my very good friend who I have great support for, Vice-Chancellvor, talked about becoming an idiot using technology. And all of a sudden I said to myself, oh my God, I've been looking at this job the wrong way. Because I've been going through the length and breadth of Guyana, encouraging the use of technology. Anyway, Vice-Chancellor, I want to give you a different perspective. So all protocols observed. He talked about 2.5 minutes. You know, I need at least 5, right? So I'm going fast. But I do want to say that I'm happy to be here. I want to compliment the university on their Tain Talks. You know, it's one of the things that we have to continue to work to do in Guyana is to have really constructive conversation. I think in recent times we seem to have lost the ability to exchange information. And even if we don't agree, we can disagree with integrity and with pride and in a spirit of peace. So today I wanted to focus on one of the themes, which is ICT for development. And I want to say that I think ICTs in terms of information communication technologies can play a very, very important role in the development of our human capital in Guyana especially. I feel this way because when we consider the migration that we've continued to have for a very, very long time, when you consider the fact that we still have many parts of our country where we don't even have one mobile phone operator. when you consider that in many parts we still have no internet connectivity, then I think that you can understand my belief in the fact that the more we employ in a constructive and tailored manner ICT, the use of ICT, we can actually enhance development. And I wanted to throw out some quotes that I feel tend to give a sense of what we're talking about this afternoon. So most of you will know that the recently proposed Sustainable Development Goals refers to a special target, goal number 9C. And it talks about, and I quote, significantly increasing access to information and communication technologies, and the strive to provide universal and affordable access to the internet in least developed countries by 2020. And another important quote that I want to throw out is one by former Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, who stated that, and I quote, information and communication technologies have long been recognized as key enablers for bridging the digital divide and achieving 3 dimensions of sustainable development, and that is economic growth, environmental balance, and social inclusion. In a Guyana context, I just through my role in this position since 2016, where we've gone to several schools. We've now connected over 170 primary schools and secondary schools. And we've created now 173 ICT hubs. And an ICT hub is just a safe space in a community center, at a church that's used by many persons. And it has provided an opportunity for all sectors of our population to be able to access the internet in a community if they don't have access at home. So when we talk about social inclusion, making it possible for young people to go to a location and get free internet access on a computer that's provided there, that allows them to do their SBAs, that allows them to do research, that allows a single parent to access textbooks that are now on the computers at these ICT hubs. And that is textbooks that are used by the Ministry of Education. Then you can understand the ability of the technology to really transform people's and their lives. And so I think it's important to ensure that in this thrust to use technology, that of course we come up with clearly defined policies. And I don't have enough time to tell you what I've been doing in my ministry, so I brought some newspapers. So we produced a newspaper that has everything in it.
That's the politician.
That's the politician, yes. And so in that newspaper you will find all the things that we're doing. But I do want to say that more and more, the biggest challenge I find is that quite often we start off with those terrible words, this is Guyana. And you know, you put the technology in a location and we fail to recognize that you got to take advantage of what you've been given. And so I would urge, I see spaces here that I know are the movers and shakers of technology in Guyana. And I see a lot of policy makers in the room. I want to say that we have to work harder to ensure that with the training that's provided, with the physical computers, with the ICT hubs, with ICT and free internet in schools, we encourage our people to use the technology, to sell the point that for online learning, if you're a student, if you're someone that's retired, that wants to go online and do a free course, if you're an entrepreneur that can sell and market better through a Facebook page that costs you nothing. These are all the power that access to the internet and an increased use of ICTs could provide. But as I said, it's a partnership. So I look forward to the discussion today. I'm going to be here. If there are any questions or policy issues I can add to, I'm more than happy to do that. But I'm already very, very happy. I work closely with almost all the agencies sitting at the table, especially the university, and I look forward to us moving and improving access to ICTs in our country. Thank you very much.